So one question I hear a lot is, so how do you keep your pipes from freezing? Tiny House Prepper. Hi everybody, I'm Bill from Tiny House Prepper, and we have a video. It's our viral video. It has 1.2 million hits on it. It's called 10 Below in an RV Tiny House. And I think that most people that come to our channel come from that one video. In fact, many of you probably that's the first video that you saw when you subscribed to us. And one question that I get on a regular basis on that one video is, how do you keep your pipes from freezing in your RV? Or how do you keep your tanks from freezing? I think most of those questions are from people who are brand new to our channel. They don't know our situation. So I thought I would explain it because we're a little bit unique. Yes, we live in a 32-foot travel trailer, but we are a little bit unique. You see, since we're set here permanently, we don't have tanks. We don't have black water or gray water tanks. We are hooked up to the grid. We have full electric, we have full water, we have full sewer, and it's permanently attached just like a house would be or a mobile home. So we don't have to deal with trying to keep the tanks from freezing. We do, however, have pipes, and we have to keep those from freezing. So here's what I did to keep the pipes from freezing. So this is our trailer, and as you can see, it's permanently set here on a piece of land that we own. It's set up on blocks. It's not going anywhere. It's got this attached sunroom. Yeah, it's permanent. And around the back here, this is our little bump out. I removed a window right there, and it looks ugly aluminum right now, but eventually that'll be covered with vinyl siding. But this is our little bump out where we keep our two recliners, and you can see the back here. The first thing was to put skirting, permanent skirting all the way around the whole thing to keep the cold air from going in underneath. That keeps the floor warmer. That's another question I get all the time. How do you keep your floor warm? The skirting keeps the floor much warmer, and it helps to keep the pipes from freezing. Now, when we first moved in here, there was skirting around, but it was that corrugated, sort of rippled fiberglass that people use for like roofs of sunrooms and stuff like that. And it wasn't insulated, and it was a mess. All the pipes underneath were frozen. So I very quickly ripped that out, and I put in this skirting that you see here, and it's fully insulated underneath, and I'll show you that in a minute. You can see the back of the trailer here in the sunroom. Now there's dirt mounded up right here where the pipes come in underground. So I put plywood, pressure treated plywood right there to help, because it's up against the dirt. And then the rest of it is just this vinyl siding that I put in for the skirting. It's a tight fit, it's hard to get out. There, you can see our plumbing there, our sewer line with a clean out, and for wall and back behind it. I'm not going to pull it out obviously, but you can see just regular fiberglass insulation, insulated just like a regular wall in a house would be. Now there's a little bit of a mound of dirt right here, and this is where the sewer and water lines run underground, and then they come up under the trailer right here on the end. Actually right inside this little access panel, and I'll show you that in a minute. When we first bought the place, the water line, the fresh water line came up out of the ground underneath right there, and then it ran all the way underneath of the trailer, and then it went into the trailer, up into the trailer right here. That's our kitchen window. This is all of our kitchen. So it was actually really a mess because the water came up, like I said, over there, and it ran underneath and then up into the trailer. So it ran about 15 feet just hanging there underneath of the trailer. And it was a 1/2 inch copper line which breaks easily. If it freezes, it only stretches about 5% before it bursts. And since they only had the skirting was that fiberglass uninsulated stuff, the line had burst in at least a 6 different places, and the guy that we bought it from hadn't had water in this place for 2 years. I guess he just got tired of trying to fix it and replace it and whatever. In our little community here, we have a clubhouse about a 1/2 block away it's heated in the winter, it's got water, and it's got showers and washer and dryer and all that. He actually walked down to the clubhouse every time he needed to use the restroom because he didn't have any water here. Well, obviously we weren't going to be able to do that. So I had to completely rework the entire plumbing system. Basically, I wanted to get the pipes up out of the cold and inside the trailer to eliminate that problem. So I'll show you what I did. Oh, another thing I just remembered, I discovered right after we bought the place that the water line was buried under the ground right here and then came up there, like I mentioned before. But I discovered that the water line was only buried about 6 inches deep, and it had electrical heat tape on it. And the heat tape was, who knows how many decades old. It was buried under the ground. It was worthless. It wasn't working. That wasn't going to survive a winter. So I actually started here, and I dug down all the way out to the water. Right there is the water shutoff valve for the city water. I dug that entire thing out by hand and buried that pipe several feet so that it wouldn't freeze. And I actually did a video about that, and I will put a video link at the end of this video and in the description if you want to see how I buried that pipe. So this right here is another little access panel that I put in. This allows me to access the water shutoff. You see, I got insulation, fiberglass insulation in here, and then I got this insulation board for the access panel itself. Now here in the access hole, you can see it's all covered in insulation, so you can't really see it. But right here is where the pipe comes up out of the ground, and it used to turn back and go back that way, 15 feet. What I did was I took it from there straight up into the trailer right there, and you can see it here. I covered it with 3 layers of the pipe insulation, and then down here in the bottom there's a shutoff valve, and down in the hole, and I stuffed all insulation down in there. So this has never frozen on me because it's underneath of the inside the insulated skirting, and then it's got all that insulation on it. And so it comes out of the ground straight up, and there's only about a foot there, maybe 18 inches, where it's actually exposed to the cold before it goes inside the trailer. And that is what has made the difference, that that pipe no longer freezes underneath. So here we are now inside in the kitchen, and it's a little bit hard to film in here because everything is so small, and so I can only get one tiny little piece of the corner of the room because I can't get back far enough to see it all. But it used to be that if you look through here, here's the bathroom, and then all the way in the back is the bedroom. And it used to be that the water came up out of the ground back there, all the way back by that back wall, and then it ran underneath of the trailer all the way to here, and then it came up under here underneath the sink. Now, if anybody was wondering where the hot water heater is, I get a light here. It's right there, tucked in that corner. See that? It's actually a electric water heater. I think it's 28 gallons or 30 gallons. It's a great big round thing, but only this tall, so it fits underneath of the counter there. So the water comes up from, used to come up from underneath, then it would go to the sink, and it would go to the hot water heater, and then it would come across here, and go under the wall, and or through the wall and into the toilet and the shower, which is here, and then we have the sink. Now underneath here on the floor, all the way up underneath the bottom, the whole thing is covered with metal that was there to protect it as you go down the road, to keep the water, you know, the rain from splashing up and stuff. And there's a space in there between that and the floor, so the pipe would go from there underneath of that little piece of floor and then up into the sink. And that's how the system was set up. But the problem, of course, is that that pipe where it comes up from underneath kept freezing. So I just completely changed the entire system, the way it feeds. So now it feeds from all the way back here in the back bedroom up into the trailer. Hi, Leo. Leo the cat. Now I built this bed frame here, and you can see that I've shown this before, but I built in some can storage here and some drawers. But as I was building this bed frame, I brought the pipe up under there and ran it across the floor, and you can see the pipe right here, this blue pipe, and it goes inside of the cabinet there and runs across and over into the sink. And then here under the sink, you can see right there that white pipe where it comes through. That's the supply line. I put a cutoff valve right there, and then right here it goes down into the floor, and that's where it goes across and over to the sink, the kitchen sink and the hot water heater and all that. So the water used to come in underneath of the kitchen sink over on the other side. Now it comes in right here underneath of the bathroom sink. But what that does is it gets the entire pipe up out of the cold, comes up under there, runs inside the trailer over to here, and then from there the entire thing stays inside the trailer all the way over here to the kitchen. And that has taken care of our freezing problems. You know, I still get people all the time see our title, Tiny House Prepper, and then they come in and they make a comment and they say, I hate to tell you, but that's not a tiny house, that's a travel trailer. Well, technically, yeah, but as you can see, I have done so much to it that it's really not a travel trailer anymore either. Sort of like a travel trailer was the frame that I built a tiny house on, because this isn't going anywhere. You see everything that I've done with the water and the sewer, it's all permanently attached and permanently, you know, hooked into the grid, and the way I've run it all to keep it from freezing. There's no tanks anymore. The freshwater tank and the gray tank and the black tank, they're all gone. In fact, I don't even know where they were. They were removed long before I even bought the place. And I've done a lot of other things to insulate it better and everything else, which would make it too heavy to haul down the road. So it's not a travel trailer anymore. It's a permanent tiny house, even if the style is a travel trailer. So anyway, there's my pipes, and there's how I keep them from freezing. If you like the video, please like it down below, and subscribe if you haven't done that. And thanks a lot for letting me show you what I've done and coming on our journey with us. Have a great day.